everybody, and welcome back to the KK Zone. As always, I am Kara Kaufman. I am coming at you on Wednesday afternoon in another new RotoWear shirt. Thank you, RotoWear. Bronx Bombers, yeah, and that's thematically appropriate for today's episode. We had the first game of a series against the Rays in Tampa last night, which, as I think I said, always feels to me kind of like like you don't expect to go in there and have good things happen. But you know what? Good things happened. Before I get to the game, though, I actually going to start this episode, unusually enough, with a whiteboard of doom. Okay, I have the most exciting update, and it's actually not this. I mean, yes, I'm going to erase this 6, and I'm going to put in 7. Okay, it's been a week with no injury, which we like, but that's not even the important thing. The important thing is something else I'm going to erase, because look at this list. Yup. Some guys that we don't want hurt. Well, guess what? Luke Voit is hurt no more. Luke Voit came back on Tuesday, and it was so exciting. And as a result, we get to erase him from this whiteboard of doom. So good. Goodbye, Luke Voit. But really, hello, Luke Voit. Welcome back to the Major Leagues. Please enjoy this void, where Voit once was, filling a void in our lineup. Yay! That's right, Voit is back! Yes! This is amazing. I was so excited to see him in the lineup and playing first base on Tuesday night. It was fantastic. I mean, the results were not so fantastic. What did he do? He struck out. He then got hit by a pitch, which, how dare you hit our newly returned from the injured list Luke Voit? Shame! But he seems okay. Then he hit a long fly ball that was like that close to being a homer, but instead pushed it loud out. And then he ground into a double play in his last at-bat. But you know what? He was just catching up because, as we know, the Yankees led the world in double plays grounded into in the first couple weeks of the season. So Luke has to get them out of the way, just like the rest of the team had to get out of the way as well earlier on. In any case, so good to see him. He made one fantastic pick at first base, and just what a reminder of the fun energy that guy brings, plus obviously the talent on both sides of the ball. Welcome back, Luke. Also worth noting, after Gio Urshela was day-to-day after he hurt his knee the other day, he too was in the lineup last night. So last night's lineup looking more like what we thought it was going to be before we lost Voit and before Gio tweaked himself. So this is good. Love to see it. Okay, now that we know who played, let us talk about this game. I'm a minute 30 on the clock, and we're going to see how much I can get to in this delightful Yankees win in the death trap that is the Trop. All right, ready, set, go. Tuesday night, first game of a 3-game set, Yankees versus Rays down in St. Pete, a place the Yankees have historically not fared very well. And do you know what? They won. Yeah, they did. It was 3-1 in favor of the Pinstripers. And the story here, first of all, is Jordan Montgomery. He looked fantastic. He tied a career high in strikeouts with 9, and he only went 6 innings. He probably could have gone more. Boone went a little conservative, went to the bullpen, and it played out well for him. Loaizaga had 2 scoreless innings, and Aroldis Chapman came for the save. This was a little bit eventful. Chapman has been untouchable. He had a little bit of a rough outing for him. He started out by getting a ground ball to short, which unfortunately Glaber booted for a leadoff error. But then, the next batter, he was all over the place. Wild pitch to the backstop. So Austin Meadows sprints for second. And what happens? We've seen this before. The ball caroms right back to Gary Sanchez, who throws a rocket to second base to get Meadows the first out. That was a huge play with a major assist to the wall at the Trop. Thank you for that. Subsequently, Chapman ended up walking the next guy, and the trainer came out, which made me basically melt into a puddle on the floor. Is he okay? Apparently he was okay. He induced a line out with a nice play by Glaber to make that up for the first play of the inning, and then a strikeout on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, which makes me think, okay, he's fine. Great win all around. Where did the runs come from, you ask? I'm glad you asked, because Aaron Judge had a long home run. Gary Sanchez had a long home run. And the third was a run that scored on a pass ball, which less exciting, but they all count. The homers were great, though. You love to see it. And that is how that game went. I think I actually covered everything I wanted to say about this game. It feels like the Yankees go down to Tampa and never win. And actually, they did win one game there earlier this season. I had completely blocked that out. So this was nice to see them go and get this series off to a good start. That place is just a house of horrors. And the Rays have only been okay this year, but against the Yankees, they've been excellent. So we're trying to turn that tide around, and this was a good beginning in that endeavor. So I mentioned that Chapman got the save last night. This was not a rare occurrence for him this year. He still has yet to allow an earned run, which is insane. He's striking out the world, which is good if you're a closer, and he is perfect in save conversions, which is exactly what you want. He has been everything. I've loved it. He's funny on social media. He has a personal hashtag for himself, which is #ChapmanSwag, which
Yeah, if you're that good, you get to be a little swaggy. And he has some pretty cool, stylish outfits too, so swag works on several levels. So today, the day after saving that game against the rival Rays, this is what he posted. Right, so that says, a wise man said, defend yourself with a smile, attack with silence, and win with indifference. I found this a little curious. I looked it up. I couldn't find a real source for that quote. It seems like it's actually more prevalent in Spanish, but it's also distributed to exactly what he said. A wise man said, or, the wise people say. So it doesn't seem like anyone actually said this is one of those apocryphal sayings. It just gets passed down. But, I love it, except winning with indifference does not seem to me at all like what Chapman does. He doesn't really smile very often. And he also seems like when he wins, he is the last thing from indifferent. He ends his last follow-through, and if it's a strikeout, which it often is, he'll stare down the batter. Like, it is no joke. It's the Chapman stare. So, I get it. I think there's a lot in that quote about being measured. That's really important for anyone, especially in baseball, long season, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was an interesting one, especially when he pitches with what seems like a lot of intensity. So, in any event, that's Chapman's take on his own success, and whatever is working for him, he should keep doing it because he has looked great. The other thing that happened with the Yankees yesterday was less good, and that is they have had a mini COVID outbreak amongst the coaching and support staff. And it's a little curious because the Yankees are one of the few teams so far that has crossed the 85% vaccination threshold, which allows them to relax some of the restrictions around wearing masks in the dugout, outdoor dining, some other stuff the league has been pretty strict about in an effort to, in fact, curb outbreaks. So what has happened is before the game yesterday, it was announced that 5 coaches and support staff were being there was one positive test. Turns out it was Phil Nevin, the Yankees' awesome third base coach. And then there were 4 others that were being contact traced and or having test results verified. So we found out after the game, 1 other support staff member had a positive test. And both that person and Phil Nevin are fully vaccinated. So it happens. These are breakthrough COVID cases, and anytime there's a vaccine, there still will be some small number of cases of infection. What this vaccine has proven so good at is it prevents serious infection almost 100%. And as far as we have heard, Phil Nevin is doing just fine, which is great. That is the most important thing. But what it meant last night, obviously, we're still waiting for, Aaron Boone implied there would be a lot more testing happening this morning, some more results from yesterday coming in. It seems like based on how many players are vaccinated and the contact tracing, the game was never in question last night and shouldn't be in question again today, which, as long as everyone is safe, is great. The question now is what happens to the other coaches. Hopefully things come back negative, everyone recovers quickly, and no one is actually sick in terms of symptoms. So that's what we're hoping. Fingers crossed. But what happened last night, which was, if it weren't for the COVID aspect of it, would be kind of funny, is Mike Harkey, who is the bullpen coach, had to stand in as also pitching coach because Matt Blake was also being contact traced and not with the team, which was, and luckily they were in Tampa because the Yankees bullpen is just down the line from the dugout. So Harkey was literally like in the dugout talking to his pitcher and then going to the bullpen, check out the pitchers in there. It was pretty funny. It felt like a little minor leaguey in an adorable way. So basically they had, they were down 3-4 coaches and everyone else was just playing double duty and covering, which is pretty cute and probably kind of fun. Mix it up a little for the guys. Play a different position, basically. But that being said, the COVID thing is scary. The Padres had a couple of confirmed positive tests in players yesterday, including Tatis Jr., one of the most exciting talents in the game. We're hoping that is a quick one and also that he's okay. So this is something to watch around baseball. Baseball has had a pretty good run of avoiding serious COVID, with the exception of the Nats earlier this season. So, I don't know, to be determined how this goes, but here's hoping it is contained and not severe for anybody. Okay, the last thing I will end with is baseball seems to run in families. There are a lot of families who have multiple members in the game in one way or another. Can name a lot. Literally half of the Blue Jays team right now are sons of former major leaguers, and that's always really cool. So there are currently, at least there's one I know of, pair of brothers, both active in the majors right now. It is the Gurriel brothers. It is Yuli Gurriel, who plays first base for the Houston Astros, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who plays the outfield for the Blue Jays, who have a monopoly on Major League family people. So yesterday, in fact, the Blue Jays and the Astros were playing, and Lourdes got to first base to hang out with brother Yuli during the game, and look at this. That is so cute. I imagine that playing with/against your brother must be a challenge, because you obviously want to root for your brother, but also you want to win. I don't know, probably hard to navigate. I have not very often seen this kind of full hug happen at first base, and I like it a lot. The cute brotherly affection is fantastic. The fact that Yuli clearly kind of wants to be like, get off me, but also kind of wants to be like, I love you, brother. I understand all that, and it is adorable. Also great is their mother, who, look at this. Yeah, that's what you do when you have sons playing for opposite teams. You can't pick sides. Just get a cool jersey representing both your boys. I like this a lot. So yeah, families in MLB always lead to cute moments. This was no exception. Thank you, Gurriel brothers, for my heartwarming moment of the day yesterday. Now, it wouldn't even be a real official baseball game if I didn't haiku about it afterwards. Do not fact check that, it is true. And yesterday's haiku is as follows. With a home run here and a lucky carom there, a win at the Trop. Yes! Feels like it's hard to find a win at the Trop, and I was really happy the Yanks were able to start the series off strong. Really, the homers and that lucky bounce were the stories of the game to me, and that is what made it into the poem. And I will end with a quote, as always, this from the ever-brilliant Stephen Sondheim from Into the Woods, and the quote is, "The harder to get, the better to have." Come on, that's just true in life. I mean, there's a whole philosophy called play hard to get, and while that may not always be the best strategy, it just speaks to the fact that when things are difficult to attain, attaining them feels all the sweeter. That's just human nature. So, attaining a very difficult victory against a team that has really plagued the Yankees in recent years, and at a venue that has not been kind in past really several years running, this felt like an especially sweet win. It was just a one game on a Tuesday night, but it felt like a little more, both because of the intensity the games between Yanks and Rays tend to have, and because a win at the Trop just feels hard. So, well done, Yankees, on achieving this difficult thing and beginning this series in an excellent way. I'm excited to see the next two games and how they pan out, and I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about next time we chat. But as always, until then, go Yanks.